Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, 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 Hey.
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 Krishna, 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 Rakshama.
Krishna, 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 Rakshama.
Krishna, 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 Parima.
Krishna, 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 Parima.
Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Parima.
Krishna, Keshava, Krishna, Keshava, Krishna, Keshava, Parima.
Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Parima.
Krishna, Keshava, Krishna, Keshava, Krishna, Keshava, Parima.
Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Rakshama. Krishna, 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 Parima. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Parima. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha, Gopinath Radha, Gopinath Radhe. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तेर्भवती नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोप कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमो पंकजनाभाय नमो पंकजमालिने नमो पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये हरे कृष्ण. So I'm very grateful to Sandeep Krishna Prabhu, Surat Madhav Prabhu, all the wonderful Margam devotees for very kindly, lovingly inviting me over here. So this is a very auspicious month, Purushottam Mas, just the last 3-4 days left for this month. And I think in this Purushottam month, you all have been discussing Krishna Leela, Krishna's pastimes. So today we are going to discuss a very beautiful pastime of how Lord Krishna liberates a demon called Sakatasura. Just some days ago we were discussing the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, The 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita begins with Arjuna asking a question, my dear Lord Krishna, which path is more superior? The path of bhakti, those who worship you in the form of Krishna in a personal form, or those who worship impersonal Brahma Jyoti? There are these two kinds of spiritualists, personalist and impersonalist. So Arjuna is asking this question, which is more better? And Lord Krishna explains very clearly that those who worship Krishna, the form of that Supreme Lord, such devotees are far more superior than the impersonalists. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, if someone is an impersonalist, if someone is worshipping Brahma Jyoti, how can you spend your time worshipping Brahma Jyoti? Brahma Jyoti means that which has no form. You cannot see that form. What are the pastimes that Brahma Jyoti does? There are no pastimes that it does. What are the activities? What are the qualities of Brahma Jyoti? Nothing. So there is nothing to discuss. Therefore, the highest understanding of Krishna is Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, this particular month is called Purushottam Mas. Purushottam matlab Krishna as a form, but Krishna's form is not like all of us. Krishna's form is completely supreme. The Bhagavatam explains, Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajyaya madvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. There are three understandings of God, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. But those devotees who are highly fortunate, they can get to worship that Supreme Lord as Bhagavan, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So therefore it's very important for us that we value the process that we have got. The process of bhakti, which is the highest process that Lord Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. So today we are going to discuss one beautiful pastime, a small pastime but a very important pastime of how Lord Krishna liberates a demon called Sakatasura. So this particular pastime comes in the 10th canto, 7th chapter. Srila Prabhupada very mercifully has compiled the entire 10th canto in the form of Krishna book. And Prabhupada has given this Krishna book so that devotees can relish the pastimes of Krishna. So in this Krishna book, the 7th chapter, I'll be discussing this particular pastime from this book. Srila Prabhupada explains how Krishna, as I told you, Krishna is Bhagavan. What does Bhagavan mean? Bhagavan means one who has 6 opulences in full. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasya, Shriya, Jnana Vairagyaschaiva, Chanan Bhaga Itingana. So who is that Supreme Lord? Anyone who has wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, beauty, renunciation, all in complete fullness, that is Krishna. And there is no other personality who fits into this definition other than Krishna, that Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada writes here, that same Krishna appears in various forms. The same Krishna comes as Rama, as Narsimha, as Varaha, so many different forms. Why does the Lord come in so many different forms? Srila Prabhupada writes here, so that we can get an opportunity to hear more and more about Krishna Leela, the various avatars of Krishna. So Krishna is mercifully coming in so many different forms so that we can keep hearing about Krishna more and more. Srila Prabhupada, in the initial days when Prabhupada was in America, and there was one boy who came to Prabhupada, his name was Howard Wheeler. He became one of Srila Prabhupada's initial disciples, Hayagriv Prabhu, English professor. So Prabhupada had some manuscripts. He told Howard Wheeler, Hayagriv, you please edit the manuscripts because English is your first language. So this boy took it, and after some time he came to Prabhupada after a few months and told him, Prabhupada, I have edited this. If there is anything else, you give me. So Prabhupada showed him, there is this trunk, you open this box and see. He opened it, he saw so many manuscripts. So he told Prabhupada, so many manuscripts, it will take one lifetime to edit this. Prabhupada said, not one lifetime, many lifetimes to edit and to read it. So Krishna Leela is unlimited, Anantam. So Krishna's pastimes are unlimited. Why does Krishna come in various avatars? Srila Prabhupada writes here, so that we conditioned souls can hear about Krishna more and more. Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, what is the advantage of hearing about Krishna? Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvata tyaktva deham punarjanma Naiti mameti so Arjuna. If we understand Krishna Leela properly, if we invest our ears, our intelligence, our mind in hearing about Krishna, what is the benediction? Punarjanma Naiti. You don't have to come to this cycle of birth and death again. I get it? This material world is a very cruel place. So if we understand Krishna Leela, we'll go back to Krishna's pastimes. We don't have to come back here. So that is the result of hearing Krishna Leela. Srila Prabhupada writes here, Krishna's pastimes are not like your and my pastimes. Krishna's pastimes are completely transcendental, divyam. And simply by hearing about Krishna's pastimes, what happens? We get the same spiritual nature of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada gives a simple example. If there is an iron rod, it's kept in fire, very soon that iron rod also will become hot. Similarly, we may be very conditioned, we may be very materialistic, but if we are in constant association of Krishna in the form of Krishna Katha, slowly we can become spiritualized. Our existence can become Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada mentions here, as conditioned soul, we want to hear, read something or the other. Right? People love to read books, people like to see movies, and people love to do all these things. But the problem is, when it is not centered around Krishna, there is no enlightenment that happens. Just entertainment, but there is no transformation of heart. But the same pastime, that same, the same idea, the same mood of hearing about someone, reading about someone, when it is dovetailed to Krishna, it is very, very pleasing. The 10th canto of Bhagavatam, the first chapter only begins with this shloka. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned this shloka in the beginning of Krishna book. Nivritta Taraser Upagiya Mana Bhavashada Shotra Manobi Rama Kauttama Shloka Gunanuvada Pumam Virajeta Vina Pashubnath. That this Krishna Leela, it is a medicine for the conditioned souls, for the people who are suffering this cycle of birth and death. If you want to get rid of it, there has to be a medicine. For every disease, there is a medicine. For this disease of Bhava Rog to take birth again and again in this world, what is the medicine? The medicine is Krishna Katha. And also it is explained in this shloka, this Krishna Katha, Shotra Manobi Rama. This Krishna Katha is very, very pleasing to hear. Devotees so love to hear Krishna Leela, but even if an outside person who has no love for Krishna, he hears Krishna Leela, he'll get very attracted to it. Because Krishna Leela is very, very attractive. And Srila Prabhupada mentions here, when we keep hearing about Krishna, we will ultimately reach the spiritual world. All the impurities in our heart is destroyed. Sharanvata Swakata Krishna Punya Sharavana Kirtana Hridayantastohi Abhadrani Vidunoti Sritsata. When we keep hearing about Krishna, what happens? All the impurities, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, all our impurities are gradually destroyed. And there are many, many examples of great devotees who took to the essence of Krishna Katha, hearing about Krishna, and they perfected their lives. Srila Prabhupada writes here, Bhakti has 9 limbs. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. But the most important and the first limb of Bhakti is Shravanam, hearing about Krishna. And the Bhagavatam has so many stories. The story of Narad Muni. In his previous life, Prabhupada mentions he was not even educated. He didn't have money to go to a proper school. Not born in a great family, very low family. But still this boy, because for 4 months, Chaturmas, 4 months, he heard Krishna Katha from pure devotees, he got the body of Narad Muni. The same 10th canto of Bhagavatam, you have the example of Rukmini Devi. Rukmini Devi, she wrote a letter to Krishna that, my dear Krishna, I want to marry you. And finally she married Krishna also. And how did she develop love for Krishna? Narad Muni, the same Narada, who became Narada by hearing Krishna Katha, that Narad Muni would go to the palace of Rukmini and speak Krishna Katha. And hearing Krishna Katha very attentively, Rukmini became very, very attached to Krishna and she saw Krishna face to face. Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavatam so many places. This is just not 1 or 2 examples. N number of examples of devotees who heard about Krishna and finally achieved Krishna. So Prabhupada says this process is available for all of us. If we, in our conditioned state, take to the process of Krishna consciousness, especially hearing about Krishna very attentively, very soon we will have darshan of Krishna. Right? So first Shravanam and then Darshanam. First you have to hear about Krishna. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj, who is a great hero, the ideal for all of us, is recommending everyone by his practical experience. Parikshit, he had 7 days left for his death to come. So what did Parikshit do? Parikshit engaged full-heartedly in one process, Shravanam. That's it. And he got the spiritual world. So Parikshit Maharaj, through his experience, is teaching all of us how important it is to hear about Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada gives this introduction to this particular chapter, and Prabhupada says, thus we have written this Krishna book so that devotees can hear more and more about Krishna and go back to that spiritual world. That's the idea. So it is explained that Lord Krishna, as I told you, comes in this world very mercifully in order to deliver conditioned souls. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkratam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Lord Krishna comes principally for 3 reasons. 1, to protect devotees. 2, to kill demons. And the most important, to establish dharma. And what is dharma? The acharyas explain very clearly. Dharma means the process of bhakti. Bhagavad Gita is dharma shastra. And the essence of Bhagavad Gita, practically every chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion is bhakti to Krishna. So Lord Krishna comes very mercifully to teach the process of bhakti so that we can all attain perfection. But still there are some people, Srila Prabhupada mentions here, some atheistic people who think that Krishna is an ordinary person. Avajananti ma muda manusham tanumashritha. Lord Krishna says, foolish people, those who are fools and rascals, they don't surrender to Krishna. When Srila Prabhupada went to America, I was explaining somewhere, when Swami Vivekananda went to America, he called all of them my dear brothers and sisters. Srila Prabhupada went to America and called all those people dogs and cats. So someone may say, why is Srila Prabhupada so heavy? So Prabhupada would very often use the word rascals, fools. So someone asked Prabhupada, sadhu doesn't suit you using this language. Prabhupada said, what can we do? Krishna also uses the same word, mood, fool. So Lord Krishna says, those who consider Krishna to be an ordinary person, they are actually foolish. So therefore, while we read Krishna Leela, especially this particular pastime, we understand that Krishna is not an ordinary person. Krishna is a small baby. You all heard Putana Leela? You all already discussed. Krishna is a small baby, probably a few days old. Lord Krishna killed Putana. And now this is the next demon that Lord Krishna is killing. As a small child, right? As a small child, what can we do? So therefore Krishna Leela, Lord Krishna is not an ordinary person. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Krishna is that Supreme Lord. So this particular chapter begins with, after this particular introduction, Srila Prabhupada mentions here, Lord Krishna slowly began to grow a little more. And when Lord Krishna reached around 4 months, when he was 4 months old, there is a particular festival called Utthana. One sanskar called Utthana. What is Utthana? Till 4 months, before 4 months, the child is lying on the back. When the child is 4 months old, the child turns around. And there is a festival for that. So in our Vedic culture, there are so many sanskars that are there. 16 principal sanskars. And the idea of all these sanskars is that we want the child to be blessed by Brahmanas and Krishna. So especially Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they would observe all these sanskars. So the Utthana sanskar was performed. And then it is explained that very soon another very important milestone in Lord Krishna's life came. Lord Krishna's first birthday. Krishna was 1 year old. We all celebrate Janmashtami. You all want to hear how Lord Krishna celebrated his first birthday, right? So Lord Krishna was first birthday, 1 year old. So that time, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, they wanted to celebrate Krishna's birthday. So the mood of Vrindavan is a mood of non-enviousness. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, when they were happy, when they had a festival, all the Vrajavasis would come. And Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, for so many years, when they didn't have a child, all the Vrajavasis stopped festivals at their houses. So this is the mood of non-enviousness in a Vaishnava society. So Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda announced that we are going to celebrate Krishna's first birthday. And all the residents of Vrindavan came there. And what did they do for this birthday celebration? This explained that there was a nice band, people playing traditional music. Along with that, there were Brahmanas who were invited to chant Vedic hymns. So very different from the modern day birthday, right? We were reading first canto, the 13th chapter. The 13th chapter of the first canto is Dhritarashtra quits home. Srila Prabhupada writes something very interesting there. Prabhupada writes that every day in the morning, when Yudhishthir Maharaj would get up, what he would do in the morning? As soon as he would get up, Yudhishthir Maharaj would take bath, and then he would do his meditation, he would do all his morning puja, he would give charity to Brahmanas, and he would go and touch the feet of elders. Every day in the morning he would do this. So Prabhupada writes in that purport, 5,000 years ago, this is how a proper Grahastha would start his day. His day would start with charity, doing puja, doing meditation. Prabhupada writes that in today's time, how does a normal Grahastha start his day? He starts his day by drinking tea, that too without taking bath on the bed and reading newspaper. So Prabhupada writes, where has India gone from 5,000 years to now? Where has the culture gone? So this is the way actually birthday is celebrated. Lord Krishna's birthday is celebrated by calling Brahmanas so that Brahmanas can chant Vedic hymns and bless Krishna. So Lord Krishna also celebrated his birthday. And then Yashoda, with everyone, they did the first Abhishek for Krishna. We do Abhishek for Krishna's deities. Here Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj are actually doing Abhishek of Krishna. We have that picture that we put in our General Janmashtami pamphlet. Lord Krishna is lying on that plate and all the devotees, Nanda and Yashoda and all the gopis, they are doing Abhishek. And Prabhupada writes, this process still goes on in today's time also. So on this particular day, Mother Yashoda, seeing all these Brahmanas, she is giving a lot of charity to the Brahmanas. So a Grahastha's duty is to give charity. So she is giving first class decorated cows with golden ornaments to the Brahmanas, very respectable Brahmanas. In this way, she is giving a lot of charity and she is seeking the blessings of the Brahmanas for her child. So right at that time, Yashoda, she takes a bath, she wears a new dress and she is making Krishna sit on her lap, and Yashoda and Krishna, they are hearing the Vedic mantras. So that time, the small child Krishna, 1-year-old Krishna, falls asleep. He starts to feel sleepy. So Yashoda decides, I have a lot of things to do. So there was one hand cart, in the courtyard that they had. So Yashoda puts a small bed there and keeps Krishna there. Let Krishna go to sleep. Because Yashoda had a lot of activities to do. When you are a host, there are a lot of things to do. There are so many Brahmanas, so many Vrajavasis that have come there, and Yashoda is the host. She has to give, she has to take care of all of them. So Yashoda was busy. She kept Krishna there. But she forgot to feed Krishna. So Yashoda was busy in doing all her activities. So Krishna suddenly got up because he was feeling very hungry. He started to cry. And he was trying to cry so loudly. But that day there was too many noises everywhere. Festival time, music going on, Vedic mantras going on. Yashoda couldn't hear Krishna crying. So Krishna becomes angry and hungry both. Angry both. Both are connected sometimes. Okay? So Lord Krishna, in order to bring his mother's attention, Lord Krishna, as a small child does, a child which is lying on the back, what can the child do? Nothing. A child can just move its hands and legs. Right? So like that, Lord Krishna started to cry very loudly. And Krishna started to kick his legs just like an ordinary child does. When Krishna kicked his leg, small little leg of Krishna, so Krishna's leg by mistake hit the wheel of that hand cart. And the whole hand cart fell down. There were a lot of utensils kept on that hand cart. All the utensils fell down. And the Krishna book explains, the wheel was broken into pieces. just by the touch of Krishna. It's not that Krishna went to break this cart. Krishna was crying for his mother. By mistake, his leg hit the wheel cart. Finished. It was such a big sound. All the Vrajavasis come there to see what happened. And when they came there, they couldn't understand who did this. How can this cart fall? Very heavy hand cart with lot of utensils. How can this cart just fall like that? They just couldn't understand. So at that time, there were some young children there. They come and tell, we have seen Krishna kicked it. So these men, the men and ladies, they are thinking, how can Krishna kick? They are thinking, we cannot believe the children. We cannot trust the children. So this is Vrindavan Dham. Whatever Krishna does, the Vrajavasis are not ready to believe that Krishna is that Supreme Lord. But Srila Prabhupada writes here, Lord Krishna can do both the possible and the impossible. So as this discussion was going on, Lord Krishna was still crying. So Yashoda picks up Krishna, puts her on her lap, and Lord Yashoda immediately calls all the Brahmanas. And she tells the Brahmanas, please chant, there is some inauspiciousness here, please chant some Vedic mantras. And all the Brahmanas, they chant Vedic mantras, and they offer some yajna for Lord Krishna. Yogurt, butter, kusha grass, everything is offered for the fortune of Lord Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada explains here, in those days, the Brahmanas were very, very qualified. And because the Brahmanas were so qualified, Nanda and Yashoda had full faith in the mantras chanted by the Brahmanas. And Prabhupada writes here, what is the qualification of the Brahmanas? A Brahmana should be non-envious. A Brahmana should never speak untruth. He should always speak the truth. He should never be proud. He should be non-violent. Like this, these are the qualities of the Brahmana. So when a Brahmana has these divine qualities, when such a Brahmana chants or when such a Brahmana gives blessings, there is power in that Brahmana's blessings. But Prabhupada writes here that in Kali Yuga, very difficult to get such Brahmanas who know proper mantra chanting, who have such pure qualities. So therefore Prabhupada writes, in Kali Yuga, the same Krishna whose Abhishek is being done now, the first birthday is being celebrated, that same Krishna when he comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells people of Kali Yuga that in Kali Yuga the only yajna that can work is Sankirtan yajna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, Vibhuti Yoga, Lord Krishna says, Japos Yagyosmi. What is that? I forgot that exact word. Lord Krishna says, of all yajnas, yajnanam japa yagyosmi. Lord Krishna says, of all yajnas, I am japa yajna. So Lord Krishna and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu both come to the same conclusion that in Kali Yuga, the only yajna that can work is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we may not be able to do so many sanskars, but at every point, if you are able to chant Hare Krishna, that is the biggest sanskar that we can do. So in this way, all the Brahmanas chanted auspicious mantras and blessed Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is the one who is supposed to bless everyone. Out of great affection, the Brahmanas are blessing Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna is ready to accept the blessings of the Brahmanas. Again, Nanda Maharaj, they had already given charity to the Brahmanas because they came and chanted Vedic mantras. Now when this cart fell, the Brahmanas again did some special yajna, special protection mantra. Again they are giving charity, double charity. So the Brahmanas are very happy this day. Right? Very successful birthday celebration. Very different than today's birthday celebration, right? In today's birthday celebration, the birthday boy expects gifts. But in Vedic culture, gifts are given, not taken. Gifts are given and blessings are taken. Right? Again, they give so much cows, everything to charity, so that these Brahmanas can sufficiently, happily bestow their blessings on this child. So this particular cart that Lord Krishna kicked, in this cart was a demon called Sakatasura. Shakata is a hand cart. This demon had entered into the hand cart. It was like a spirit, right? Spirits enter into bodies. Here the spirit had entered into this hand cart. And Lord Krishna effortlessly just kicked. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, this particular chapter, the 7th chapter and the 6th chapter, shows the power of Lord Krishna's Bal Swarupa. Krishna is that small child. And these demons are not ordinary demons. Lord Krishna killed Putana, now he killed the second demon, Sakatasura. The third demon is there in the same chapter, Trinavrata. 3 demons, all in Gokul. And these were not ordinary demons, very powerful demons. In the previous avatar, whenever the Lord had to kill demons, he assumed a huge form. To kill Hiranyakashipu, he assumed this huge form of Narasimha, right? He assumed the form of Vamana to conquer the 3 worlds. But the small child Krishna, he didn't even increase his size. That same Krishna effortlessly, it's not that Lord Krishna goes to kill. He's not consciously killing. He's wanting to drink the milk of his mother. Effortlessly, the demons are killed. Therefore, the Bhagavatam says, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is that supreme personality of Godhead. Because all the other avatars had to exert themselves. Lord Krishna didn't have to exert himself. Very effortlessly he kills. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains that Putana Vad shows the power of Krishna's lips. Sakatasura Vad, which we saw now, shows the power of Krishna's feet. And the next pastime, Trinavrat, Lord Krishna killing this whirlwind demon, Trinavrat, shows the power of Krishna's hand. Something interesting, if you study, these are the first 3 demons in Vrindavan. If you study all the other demons, Lord Krishna killed each demon in a different style. Krishna didn't repeat that style again. One style for one demon, no repeat of style. So Krishna used. And something very interesting, in Vrindavan, Krishna never used Sudarshan Chakra. No, that comes later. In Vrindavan, hand, legs enough and mouth. Finish to kill Krishna. So therefore, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam also refers to Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna. Even the Krishna in Dwaraka and Mathura, they had to use weapons. But Vrindavan Krishna doesn't have to use any weapons also. Hands and legs are more than enough to kill these demons. Therefore, we worship Krishna as the supreme person of Godhead. So in this way, Lord Krishna kills this demon called Sakatasura. Our acharyas explain that each of these demons, they represent one anartha in our life. Right? So when we study the life of Putana, Trinavrat and all these Sakatasura and all these personalities, we need to understand that these demons represent some difficulty, some anartha in our bhakti in our own life. And we need Krishna's mercy to get rid of these demons. So this demon Sakatasura represents 2 things. One, he represents lethargy or laziness. And second, we will see, he represents bad habits and attachments. So for all of us, this Sakatasura, this cart demon, was filled with so much utensils, heavy. So similarly, we all have a cart load. You call this cart load. We all have a cart load of ignorance. Tamogun, Agyan. The nature of conditioned life is Tamogun Agyan. And Lord Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, there are 2 big obstacles on the path of bhakti. One is ego and the other is laziness, lethargy. This body itself is made of Agyan, ignorance. We sing it in our prayers before we have prasad. Sharira avidya jal. This Sharira is what? A network of ignorance. This body is a network of ignorance. The more we go closer to Krishna Bhakti, the more we get rid of ignorance. Tada rajastamo bhava kamalobha dayaschaye chetereter anaviddam stitam sattve prasidati. Srila Prabhupada mentions this prayers, this set of verses from Bhagavatam on that ship of Jaladut when Prabhupada is going to America. And it's mentioned there, when we hear more and more about Krishna, when we are connected to Krishna, slowly Rajagun, Tamogun goes away from our life and we come slowly to the mode of goodness, and then we can go beyond goodness. So it is explained that there is ignorance, there is passion, there is goodness, and there is pure goodness. The more we rise higher, the more we can experience freedom. In ignorance, freedom is least. And in ignorance, the typical example of a species in the mode of ignorance is tree. A tree doesn't have freedom. tree cannot move from one place to another, right? Just caught in one place because it's any living entity who's in lot in the mode of ignorance gets the body of a tree. Little better than ignorance is passion, and passion is characterized in human life. Prabhupada mentions in Bhagavad Gita, 99.99% of human population is in the mode of passion, Rajoguna. And Rajoguna means we have more freedom than trees. Little more freedom human beings we have. We can move around. Higher than Rajoguna is Sattva-guna. And this Sattva-guna is there in demigods. Demigods have more freedom. They can move from one planet to another very, very freely. But someone who's in pure goodness, he has maximum freedom. And who's the example of that? Pure devotees like Narad Muni. Maximum freedom. Narad Muni can move anywhere and everywhere. No one can stop him. Srila Prabhupada mentions there that if you want to get rid of this mode of ignorance and slowly go to pure goodness, we have to follow the footsteps of Narad Muni. But typically, we all have this demon called Sakatasura in our heart. And this Sakatasura represents laziness, lethargy for spiritual life. We are not lazy about other things, but we are lazy for spiritual life. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur tells one story. There were two friends who were very, very lazy. They were so lazy that if there was any award to be given to the most laziest people, these two guys would get it without fail. You know how lazy they were? One day, their house got on fire. Whole house is burning. These two people are sleeping. They're not even opening their eyes. So lazy, they're not even opening their eyes to see what is happening. So one friend is telling the other guy, BB. BB means back burning. They're so lazy, they're not even using the full words. Conserving energy. The other guy, he's telling him CS, chain side. That fellow is also lazy. And in this way, both these friends, they burn and die. So why is the story told? Because this is the story for all of us. This entire world is burning. Samsara, dhaba, nalali, the loka. We are seeing the problems that are coming. And just starting now, problems are going to escalate. But we are not interested in spiritual life. What are we doing? BB, CS, we are doing all this. We are not doing Hare Krishna, we are doing all this. Right? That's the problem with people of Kali Yuga. They are lazy for spiritual life. Tabe ebe alasahaya na baje hridaya raje. Udita tapana haile asta dina gelo boli haibye vyasta. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in a song he explains, the sun is rising and the sun is setting. Every day, at the end of the day, one day is minus from our life. We are inching closer to death, but still we are lazy about spiritual life. That's the problem for all of us. In today's day, the biggest disease is no one has time for spiritual life. No time. Right? No time. Even though there is so much technology. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, you had to, you want to search something in the internet, you go to an internet cafe and then search. Again, now the internet is on the mobile. Previously, you have to make some calls, you have to go out, there'll be a landline, already there'll be one guy talking, you'll have to wait for him to finish, then you start. There's so much difficulty. Now everything is so fast paced, we have so much technology, still there is no time that people have for spiritual life. So therefore, we have to overcome this demon of lethargy and laziness. And how do we overcome it? By developing enthusiasm in spiritual life. By developing the sense of urgency. Maya, how she cheats devotees. For non-devotees, Maya doesn't have to do anything. They are already in her lap. She doesn't have to do anything. For devotees, she doesn't tell devotees, don't do bhakti. Because if you tell, then devotees will not listen to her. She tells devotees, do bhakti, but do from tomorrow. Become serious in bhakti from tomorrow. Today you enjoy. Right? That's how Maya proposes. And we keep listening to Maya's proposal and we miss the chance of sincerely practicing bhakti. So therefore, if you want to overcome lethargy, we have to develop a sense of urgency. If you hear Srila Prabhupada's lecture, every lecture of Prabhupada, you will see the mood of urgency in Srila Prabhupada's lectures. If you read Prabhupada's purpose, you will see the sense of urgency that Prabhupada is mentioning. Prabhupada is explaining that this place is already very difficult. Spiritual life cannot be postponed for another time. Cannot be postponed. All of you all know the story of Kailash. You have told them, Sandeep Krishna Guru? Story of Kailash. So Kailash is our devotee's favorite story. Wherever that Kailash is, by now he might have gone back to the spiritual world. Because devotees have quoted him so many times. I'll just tell you all in short, story of Kailash. One time there was a guy called Kailash. And this Kailash, Narad Muni comes to him and tells Kailash, my dear Kailash, you have wasted your entire life, probably so many lifetimes. Now I am giving you a chance, come back to the spiritual world, practice bhakti. Kailash tells Narad Muni, my dear Narada, you don't understand. You are a sannyasi, I am a grahastha. You will never understand a grahastha's problem. For you it is very easy to say practice bhakti. But I have a family, I have responsibilities. My children are there and children are still foolish, not responsible. I have worked so hard. So give me some time. Let my children get a little settled, a little mature. Then I will take up Krishna consciousness. So Narad Muni goes, he comes after some time. And he sees Kailash is dead. Oh yeah, Kailash ka. And Kailash's photo is there on the wall. One garland around Kailash. And Narad Muni is crying, Kailash, I told you, don't waste this human form of life, such a rare opportunity. And Narad Muni is crying, crying that I couldn't make one person Krishna conscious. What is the pain of a devotee? Prabhupada mentions the pain of a devotee is when someone passes away without taking to bhakti. That's the biggest pain. And we are seeing so many people in this world dying without Krishna consciousness. So all devotees should feel that pain. This is the pain of our parampara. So Narad Muni is crying, Kailash, I told you. So that time there is one dog that barks. And Narad Muni says, Narad Muni, don't get so much in anxiety. I am still here only. So Narad Muni says, Kailash, human form, you have to go higher. What has happened to you? Demotion completely. But Kailash says what to do. I worked so hard for this house, but so many robbers are coming here. My foolish children, irresponsible children, they are not taking care of the house. So I thought, let me become a dog in my own house to protect the house. Attachment of the family. So Narad Muni says, shameless Kailash, from human body you have come to dog's body. You don't have any shame. So Kailash says, what is the shame in this? I am doing my duty. Everyone feels their job is very, very important. Even a dog feels job is very, very important. So Narad Muni tells them, at least in this dog's body you chant Hare Krishna. Generally you can't do bhakti, but still I'll give you a special opportunity. Kailash not ready to listen. Narada goes, comes again. Kailash, dog is also dead. So Narad Muni is crying, Kailash, what has happened to you? So there is one snake hissing there. Kailash says, Narada, don't get depressed, I'm still here only. Jashi aaye tashi, I'm here only, don't worry. Narad Muni tells him, shameless Kailash, see what has happened to you? So Kailash says, what is the problem, Narad Muni? What is to be shameless about this? There are so many rats in the house. I thought I'll become a snake and eat all the rats. Mahaprasade Govinde. What is the problem? So Narad Muni understands that this guy is not going to learn like this. So Narad Muni calls all the children, grandchildren of Kailash and tells them, see, the snake is here. And they all bring chappal and they are beating Kailash. And Kailash in the snake body is telling, I am your grandfather, I am your father. Narad Muni tells them, beat him more. So sometimes when you don't wake up with instructions, you wake up when you get those beatings. And that's also good. Krishna's kicks comes in many ways. Sometimes Krishna's kick comes in the form of problems, difficulties. That's the time when we actually wake up. So the point is, our story should not become like the story of Kailash. Narad Munis are there in our life, but we shouldn't become like Kailash, right? We should actually wake up to this reality of life. So therefore, to overcome lethargy, laziness, we need enthusiasm and the sense of urgency. The sense of urgency that somehow this life I have to complete. Bhakti Tirtha Swami, Srila Prabhupada's very senior disciple, one of our great stalwarts. Bhakti Tirth Swami, when he was preaching in America, he started an institute called Institute for Applied Spiritual Technology. Institute for Applied Spiritual Technology. If you put it, the acronym, it is IFAST. Institute for Applied Spiritual Technology, IFAST. And in this institute, Bhakti Tirth Maharaj would help people understand spiritual technologies, how you can get out of this world, not remain stuck in this world. Why did Maharaj call this acronym IFAST, his institute? Because Maharaj had this mood that this is my mission. I fast. We have to move at good speed. If we don't increase our speed in bhakti, we will not be able to escape. Just like satellites, no? When you put the satellite in space, there is something called escape velocity. You have to shoot that satellite at that speed. If that shooting is not at that speed, the satellite will come down. It will not escape the gravity. So similarly in this world, Maya's gravity is continuously there. You want to rise, but Maya keeps pulling you down. So that is the time we need to understand that we have to increase the fire. We have to increase the enthusiasm in our life if you want to get out. Jesus Christ, he would say, if you are hot or cold, it's okay. If you are lukewarm, I spit at you. That means if you are doing bhakti, you have to be really doing hot, very fiery bhakti. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada's guru, he would often say this, Pran aache aar jehetu prachar. If you have life, if you have fire, you will preach. You will take up to this mission. Preach means you will do some service. You will use this human form of life in some special way. Srila Prabhupada is a personification of enthusiasm. A 70-year-old man going to start a mission alone, going to start a worldwide movement alone. It's amazing. So Prabhupada had this kind of enthusiasm. Prabhupada, if you see his morning walks, his disciples couldn't catch his pace. Even while walking, Prabhupada was so fast. And the entire day, Prabhupada would spend talking to people, preaching. In the night, Prabhupada would sit and write books. Prabhupada never got tired because he knew that my life is already short. I have a lot of things to do. Time is against me. So Prabhupada was that focused. So if you want to achieve something in life for Krishna, we have to be very, very time conscious. We have to be Krishna conscious also. We have to be very time conscious also. That time is running and there are a lot of things that we need to do in life. So therefore, developing this enthusiasm is important. I'm just sharing with you all some examples of enthusiasm. I gave you the example of Srila Prabhupada, right? We have the example of Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. What is the name of one of the names of Arjuna? He's called Gudakesh. Gudakesh means one who has conquered sleep or ignorance. Arjuna, he was such an expert student. He would learn in the day, and what he would learn from Dronacharya in the day, in the night he would give up sleep and practice. Right? Therefore, he is called Gudakesh. And therefore, Arjuna became one of the most successful warriors. So we may not be like Arjuna, we may not be able to give up sleep, but at least somewhere we have to reduce our ignorance, reduce our laziness, and become more and more active for Krishna. And how we can do that? When we have goals in life. When we have a big goal in life, that goal, when you get up and you understand that you have a big goal, you will overcome that laziness and then you will work towards that goal. If you don't have any goal, then there's nothing for you to do, you'll just sleep. So we all need a big goal in life. Right? Just like Srila Prabhupada had, we all need that big goal. And the big goal is preaching, spreading this mission of Krishna consciousness. Right? It is just not one person's responsibility, it's everyone's responsibility. So when you have that goal, you can keep going on. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I gave you the example of Srila Prabhupada's enthusiasm. What is the enthusiasm of Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Bhaktivinoda Thakur again was one man. There was no institution at that time. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one person, Grahastha. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote hundreds and hundreds of books, hundreds of songs. Bhaktivinoda Thakur alone, he conducted 100 satsang programs, Naam Hatta programs in different villages. That was the enthusiasm of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So all the great acharyas, the 6 Goswamis, they would sacrifice sleep and throughout the day they would keep doing bhakti to Krishna. So we need to develop this kind of enthusiasm in our life. Param Pujya Jayapataka Swami Maharaj at this age, I mean the kind of enthusiasm that he has is like unmatchable. No one can just match it. So many problems, but he has a very, very big goal in life and he keeps going on and on. I think, I don't know whether I told this before, probably a long time before I had told this. Many years ago, I had gone to one of our Vrindavan Yatras. And in this particular Yatra, there was one old devotee who came from Belgaum. And this devotee was a blind devotee. And this devotee's name was also Bilvamangal. Radhana Maharaj has given him the name Bilvamangal. Something interesting for this devotee, blind person, but this devotee was so eager at this old age to come to every holy place. And I was thinking, what he will see? If you have eyes, if you don't have eyes, then what you will see? You can't see anything. You can just sit at home. Generally, if you go to yatras, you go and see deities. But this person can't see, but still he is so enthusiastic. So the idea is, this devotee's mood was that I am not going to see Krishna, I am going to show Krishna that I am enthusiastic to perform bhakti. That's the mood that we need to develop. We need to show this kind of enthusiasm. Definitely we all have our own life, we all have our own challenges, but the way we can overcome all challenges is by developing enthusiasm. Just like Yashoda and Damodar Leela, she kept trying, she never gave up, and finally she could bind Krishna. So similarly, if we develop that kind of enthusiasm, we can actually attain Krishna. So this Sakatasura, the first thing that he represents is a cartload of ignorance and laziness. And we discussed about this, that to overcome laziness, what do we need? We need enthusiasm. We need that spirit, the mood of urgency. We need a big goal in front of us so that we are very enthusiastic to get up in the morning and keep going on and on. The second thing that this cart demon Sakatasura represents is a cartload of bad habits and attachments. We all have certain conditionings. In Sanskrit, we call this samskar, bad habits. And how much ever we try, sometimes it's very difficult to overcome it. They keep coming again and again. And it's a very heavy weight that we are carrying. And also our attachments. And that means basically our deep-rooted desire, when you talk about sanskar, when you talk about bad habits, is the deep-rooted desire to enjoy this world. Even though we keep hearing that this world is dukkalem ashashvatam, in the head we know, but it has not reached our heart. We still have hope that we will enjoy. Like Shankaracharya says, Angam galitam palitam mundam, dashan vihitam jatam tundam, vriddho yache ghrihitva dandam, tadapinam muchati asha pindam. A person becomes very old, hair goes away, skin wrinkles, he has stick in his hand, teeth fall off, but still the desire to enjoy doesn't go. Tadapinam muchati asha pindam. That material desires is so very difficult. So therefore, Sakatasura represents the cartload of bad habits and attachments. And the only way we can overcome it, just like Lord Krishna kicked Sakatasura, so we all need Krishna's kick in our life. Do you all want Krishna's kick in your life or not? We all need Krishna's kick. Only when that Krishna's kick comes, this cartload of attachments and bad habits is going to come crumbling down. Otherwise, very, very difficult. Right? Radhanath Swami Maharaj in his book Journey Home, he mentions this particular story. When Radhanath Maharaj as a 19-year-old boy, he was traveling around India. The only thing that he had a bag. And this bag, there had a lot of books, the Bhagavad Gita, autobiography of a yogi, many, many books he was carrying. So one day Radhanath Maharaj was sitting in Delhi at a very busy place, I think Connaught Circus, some busy place in Delhi. And he kept his bag there. And there was one man who came, put a rod in his ear, he's trying to remove some ear wax. And he's saying, for the next year, pay me money, all this discussion is going on. By the time Maharaj went to pick up his bag is gone. And Maharaj was so attached to that bag because he had some very important books that he had carried so long. So Maharaj was feeling the pain. Arey, my books are gone. But when he started to walk, he started to realize that after so long I am feeling light. All this while I was carrying that heavy bag of books. Now when it is gone, pain is there that the attachment is gone, but now I am liberated. So similarly, we all carry a lot of bad habits and attachments, and we start identifying identifying with it. We feel that without it we cannot live. One time, there was one guy who was living in the slums in Bombay, Dharavi slums, and he won a lottery ticket, and he bought like a huge mansion, a very big mansion, and he started to live there. But the problem is, in that mansion, he would only sleep in the night. Why? Because in the slum, there is so much raw noise. Mansion is too peaceful. No sleep only. You know what this guy did? He went to the slum, he recorded that noise in his mobile, and in the night he would play that and sleep. So that means he is staying in this house, but still that attachment to that slum noise is not gone. So many times we are in this palace of Krishna consciousness, but our previous conditionings doesn't go away. We are so hooked on to it. So therefore, the only hope for all of us is Krishna's kick, right? See, it's not that we don't know we all know what is wrong, but still we do it. Like the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna, what is that force that makes one do a wrong thing even though he knows it's wrong? And Lord Krishna says it is lust only. Kamesha krodesha rajagunad samudbhava. Lord Krishna says it is lust only, born out of passion, because of which we are doing these wrong things. Therefore, we need Krishna's kick. And what is Krishna's kick? Krishna's kick in our life means reading Gita, reading Bhagavatam. Right? So verses of Bhagavatam, verses of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's wake-up call for all of us. Jiva jago, Gaura Chandra bole, Kota nidra jago maya, Pishachira kole. Mahaprabhu comes, Lord Krishna comes and tells all of us, wake up to the reality, don't keep sleeping like this. Wake up. So when we read Gita, when we read Bhagavatam, Krishna is waking us up. The 13th chapter of the first canto, what I was explaining to you all, Vidura is going to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra, this Sakatasura represents bad habits and attachments. Dhritarashtra means Dhritarashtra was determined not to give up his Rashtra. कुछ भी हो जाए, आसन नहीं छोड़ने वाला. That was Dhritarashtra's mission. Lord Krishna, so many people tried and Dhritarashtra is still attached. Finally, Vidura comes to Dhritarashtra. And Vidura, heavy 10-12 verses, Vidura speaks such heavy verses to Dhritarashtra. He tells Dhritarashtra, see at your face, you have become so old. You have become completely shameless. Bhima has killed your 100 sons and the Bhima is throwing some chapati to you. You're sitting and eating. Shameless fellow. Right? Your brother is dead, your father is dead, your well-wishers are dead, your sons are dead, and still you feel that you're going to live forever. Get out of Hastinapur. Go and die in the Himalayas. Vidura speaks heavy words. Vidura represents that kick of Krishna. He represents sadhus, he represents great saints who wake us up. So Krishna's there helping us wake up to the reality, giving up our attachments. And as I told you, sometimes Krishna's kicks come in the form of calamities. Right? Sometimes, even though we hear so much philosophy, we are not able to practice it, we are not able to give up our attachment. Krishna mercifully arranges something in our life where we have to give up. Again, the first canto of Bhagavatam, the last 19th chapter, when Parikshit is cursed that he will die in 7 days, he is cursed by Shringi that he is going to die in 7 days by a Takshaka, snake bird biting him. What was Parikshit's mood? The Bhagavatam explains the thought process of Parikshit. Parikshit was thinking, I am so attached to my family and my kingdom, on my own I would have never given it up. Krishna is merciful, Krishna arranged this curse in my life. Now I have to give it up. And Srila Prabhupada writes something very interesting there. You know what Prabhupada writes? Prabhupada writes that if you are a weak devotee, if you are a strong devotee, you can give up your attachments very soon. But if you are a weak devotee, you are not able to give up your attachments. Prabhupada writes, don't worry. Krishna will intervene in your life and Krishna will get rid of all these attachments. Krishna will do it. If you sincerely chant Hare Krishna, Krishna's kick will definitely come in some way or the other. And that's good. Sometimes we are not able to do on our own, it happens. Actually, Prabhupada's life, Prabhupada tried his best to push on his business. Prabhupada, even though he's detached, Prabhupada was still trying to do his grahastha life as perfectly as possible. But finally, Krishna's kick came and Prabhupada's business just collapsed. And Prabhupada could clearly see it as Harishyet Taddanam Shanai. Yasyaham Anugrinami Harishyet Taddanam Shanai. Krishna is very, very merciful. Krishna has taken away the last trace of my attachment also. So that's the idea. The only thing Sakatasura did was he came close to Krishna. That's it. He came close to Krishna's reach and Krishna kicked. So the hope for all of us is we all have the Sakatasura of laziness, attachment, bad habits, everything in our life. Cart load, probably truck load or whatever, right? So the only hope for us is remain close to Krishna. Remain close to the process of Krishna consciousness. Keep chanting Hare Krishna, keep reading Bhagavatam. Very soon something will happen and Krishna will kick in. And when that kick of Krishna comes, your Asura will be destroyed. Your Rakshasa will be destroyed and you become a devotee of Krishna. So these are some of the thoughts of the Sakatasura pastime. Basically Sakatasura, he represents a cartload of laziness, lethargy, attachments, bad habits. And the only way we can actually overcome all this is by taking shelter of Krishna. Right? Krishna is our only hope. Right? If we continuously remain attached to Krishna's feet, Krishna will do the needful for all of us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Yeah.
Is there any questions? Anyone has any questions? Any comments?